Okay, now we have to save all these informations using the shared preferences API. So for saving these informations, we have to add some string resources. So go to the values folder and open up the strings.xml file. And here I am going to add some string resources. The first resource name is pref file with value app pref file. Okay, this resource is for saving the preference file, shared preference file. Now we need another string resource for saving the font size. So add another string resource with the identifier name font size with the value app font size. Now add another one for saving the font color with the value app font color. Okay, now we need another one for save the informations from the edit text. So I name it as text info with the value app text info. Okay, now go to the activity main.xml file. Here we have two buttons. Whenever user select the save settings button, we have to save these informations like the content of this edit text and the position of the seek bar and font color and font size, etc. into the shared preferences API. And whenever user select the clear settings, we have to clear all the information saved in the shared preferences file. So we have to find out the methods corresponding to this method. So here this button is with an on-click method named save settings, and the second button on-click method name is clear settings. So we have to define these two methods in main activity.java. So the first method is save settings, public void save settings. Don't forget to add the view object. Okay, and we need one more method, clear settings. Okay, so whenever user select the save settings button, we have to save the font size, font color and the content of the edit text. So for that, here I am going to declare some variables. For saving the font size, create a variable, say float value, name it as font size. Now for saving the font color, create a string variable, font color. So we have to get the final font color whenever user finishes dragging the seek bar. So whenever user finishes dragging the seek bar, this method will invoke on stop tracking touch. So from this method we can get the final size, final font size. So font size equal to our edit text name is message dot, and use this method called get text size. So now we have the font size, and now we have to get the color. So we can get the color of the font from each of these radio buttons. So here I have to save the font color. Here it is a red button, so save it as red. Okay, and if user select the blue color radio button, I save it as blue. And finally, if the user select the green color, save this string as green. Okay, Now we have the font size on this variable font size and font color on this variable font color. Okay, now we have to save these informations into the shared preferences API. So first we have to create an object of shared preferences and use this activity context main activity dot this and call the method called get shared preferences. This method accepts two arguments. First one is the file name, preference file name, and second one is the opening mode. So here I already save some string resources in the strings.xml file. So this is the app file name with the identifier pref file. So I'm going to use that one. So use this method get string. It is available on the string resource. So r dot string with identifier pref file. Okay, now we have to add the second argument. The second argument is the opening mode. So here I use mode private. So if you open a shared preference file in private mode, all the informations or the data saved using that shared preference is only available for your application. No other application can access the data from the shared preferences. Okay, so here I open it in private mode. Now I have to save informations like the font size, font color, and the informations on the edit text, etc. into the shared preferences API. So for saving the shared preferences or inserting informations into the shared preferences, you need an object of editor. So create an object of editor. I name it as editor equal to and use the shared preferences object and call the edit method. Okay, now we have to save each informations. So first here I am going to save the font size. So editor dot the font size is a float value, so use this method put float. Now you have to first this method is also you have to specify two arguments. First one is the key for the value and second one is the data source, that means the value. So here I am going to provide a key, get the key from the string resource, get string r dot string dot font size. Okay, now we have to specify the variable name that contain the font size. So here the variable name is font size. Okay, now we have to save the font color. So here I save the font color as a string value. So editor dot use this method put string. Here also you have to specify the key for saving this value. So get string, get the value from the string resource, and the resource name is font color, and specify the variable name font color. Okay, and finally we have to save the data available on the edit text or text field. So it is also string. So editor dot put string and get the key from the string resource r dot string dot text info. Now get the data from the edit text message dot get text to string. Okay, now I put all the informations like font size, font color, and the data from the edit text into the editor. And finally, for saving all this information, you have to commit this one. So editor dot commit. Okay, now here we put all the informations. Now we save all these informations into the shared preferences API. Okay, so when each time user open these applications, we have to check whether there is a previous settings is available. So if there is a previous settings is available on the shared preferences, we have to load that particular shared preferences file and get all the informations and start the application based on the previous settings. For that, after this one, okay, so here also we need an object of shared preferences. So copy this statement. So whenever user start the application again, here also I use the same shared preferences object. Here also I open this shared preferences with the mode private. Okay, now I have to retrieve the informations like the font color, font size, and the content of the edit text, etc. So first here I am going to get the content of the edit text. For that, here I declare another variable, string text info. So now I am going to get the previously saved data from the shared preference. So shared preferences dot use the get methods. So here I am going to retrieve a string value, so I use the get string method, and this method also contains two arguments. First one, you have to specify the key corresponding to the data, and second argument, you have to specify a default value. The default value means if such a file is not available or the information is not available, it will return the default value. So here I get the key from the string resource r dot string dot, it is text info, this one. Okay, now I have to specify a default value. If there is no information is available corresponding to the text info key, I just specify a blank value for it. Okay, and save this into the variable text info. Now I set this value for the edit text, text info. Okay, now I have to get the font size. So the font size variable is font size. So font size equal to shared preferences dot, it is a float value, so use this method get float. First specify the key, so get the key from the string resource r dot string dot, the key name is font size, and specify a default value. I specify the default value as 25. Okay, and finally we have to get the font color. So font color equal to shared preferences dot get string, use the get string method r dot string dot, the key name is font color, and specify a default value. Okay, now I have to set the font size for the message or informations available on the edit text. So message dot set text size, use typed value dot complex unit px, and specify the resource, it is font size. Okay, now we have to change the position of the seek bar. So first we have to check whether there is a previous settings is available or not. If there is no previous settings, the font size variable get value 25, and if there is a previous settings is available, the font size will get the corresponding progress bar the progress of the seek bar. Okay, so here I am going to check that one. If the font size equal to 25, that means there is no previous settings is available. In that case, I have to set the progress of the seek bar into 0. other case, we have to set the seekbar progress into font size. Set progress into font size. Yeah, this is a float value, so we have to typecast this one into int. Okay, so now we set the font size and we set the progress bar. Okay, now we have to set the font color. So there is three options: red, green and blue. So we have to check it out. If the font color dot equals red, in that case we have to set the font color of the edit text into red. So copy this one, message dot set text color, else if font color dot equals, if it is green color, we have to set the font color into green. So copy this statement, paste it here. One more case, else if font color equal to not equals blue. In that case we have to set the font color into blue color. So copy this one, I think this is not green color. Yeah, this is green color. Copy this one. Okay. So now we set the font color, font size, and also we adjust the seekbar positions corresponding to the font color, font size on the edit text. Okay. Now we can check the application. So now I am going to run this application. Okay, one more thing, before going to run the application we have to put some code for clear settings. So we need the same shared preference object here. So whenever user want to remove all the previous settings, we have to remove all the informations from the shared preferences file. So here I create an object of shared preferences. Here also we have to create an object of editor, shared preference dot editor equal to use the shared preferences object dot edit. Okay, so for clear all the informations from the shared preference, you have to call the clear method using editor, and finally you have to commit this operation. So editor dot commit. This will clear all the shared preferences data. Okay, now we can check the application. Now I am going to run it. Okay, now the application is available on my real device. Here I am going to put some simple message, hello world. Okay, now here I am going to change the font size using the seekbar. Okay, now I make the font size a bigger one, and also you can see the seekbar position is now here. Now I am going to change the font color into blue. Now I change the font color into blue using the radio button. Now I am going to save all these informations into the shared preferences API using the save settings button. So I click the save settings button now. Now all these informations are saved into the shared preferences API. Now I select the back button on this device. Okay, so now still this application is available on the primary memory of this device. You can see it on the recent application. So here it is, shared preference demo. So now I remove that application from the recent applications. So now this application is not running. Okay, now I am going to open the same application again. So click the shared preference demo application. Now you can see that the previous settings is all are here. Here is the content. Now you can see the font color is blue. Also you can see the seek bar position is here. These are the previous settings. So now I am going to clear all these settings. So I click the clear button. Now all these settings are cleared from the shared preferences API. Now again I click the back button. Now go to the recent applications. Now I remove this application from the recent applications. Okay, now I am going to open the application again. See, now you can see all the settings are clear. That means now no data, no informations are available on the shared preferences. Now I am going to make another message. Okay, and change the font size, change the font color into red color, save the settings. Now click back button. Now go to the recent applications. Now clear this application. Now again open the same application. Now all these settings are loaded from the previous settings. Now clear all these settings. Now click back button. Now go to the recent applications, clear the application. Now open the same application again. Now all the settings are gone. This is how we use a shared preferences API to save symbol informations in Android. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.